All right, let's talk about PCOS, Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're going to dive deep into a connection that gets overlooked all the time, the link between stress and PCOS. And look, this isn't about your mood or just feeling stressed. We're talking about a full-blown biochemical siege happening inside your body.
I mean, if you have PCOS, how many times have you heard this? You just need to relax and de-stress, right? It's probably well-intentioned, but man, it can feel so dismissive. Like managing this incredibly complex endocrine disorder is as simple as just thinking happier thoughts. It totally minimizes the very real, very physical stuff you're going through.
Okay, so what if we just flip this whole conversation on its head? What if we stop thinking about stress as just a feeling and start seeing it for what it really is? A tangible, measurable chemical reaction. It's a physiological process, you know? Something you can't just wish away.
So that's our first big step here. We've got to get beyond this idea of just stress. We're going to peel back the layers and look at the actual biology that's going on behind the feeling to really get what's happening at a chemical level.
And this is the fundamental shift in thinking we need to make. The kind of stress that impacts PCOS, it isn't about having a bad day at work. No, we're talking about your metabolism, the whole system that controls your hormones, your energy, and inflammation. And when that system gets put under pressure, believe me, it becomes a full-body event.
So right at the heart of this whole metabolic mess, there's one key player, a hormone you've definitely heard of. Yep, we're going to talk about cortisol.
Okay, so let's break this down because it's super important. On one hand, you've got psychological stress. You know, that feeling of being totally overwhelmed, the thing people dismiss as all in your head. But then, look at the other side, biochemical stress. This is not a feeling. It's a measurable hormonal cascade. It's a real reaction happening at a cellular level, all through your body. This is where the real problem for PCOS kicks in.
So, cortisol. What is it? Well, it's your body's main stress hormone. And honestly, it's essential for survival. It gives you that fight or flight kick when you need it. The problem is, when stress becomes chronic, from endless deadlines, not getting enough sleep, or even just the stress of having PCOS, your cortisol production just stays cranked up. It stops being a helpful alarm system and turns into this silent inflamer. It's constantly triggering this low-grade inflammation that just wreaks havoc on your delicate hormonal balance. And this constant inflammation, it doesn't just happen and then go away. Oh no, it kicks off this relentless, self-perpetuating loop, a vicious cycle that can make PCOS symptoms so much worse. Let's walk through exactly how this cycle works. So, step 1, a stressor hits. Could be anything, a tough project, a bad night's sleep. Then, boom, your body responds with a surge of cortisol. That cortisol ignites inflammation, and suddenly your PCOS symptoms, like acne or fatigue, are flaring up. And what happens when you have a flare-up? Well, of course, that causes even more stress, both in your head and in your body. And the whole vicious cycle just starts all over again.
And look, this isn't just some theory we're throwing around. For years, people with PCOS have felt this connection. They've known it intuitively. And now, finally, the science is catching up and giving us the hard evidence to prove it.
The latest research is, well, it's honestly groundbreaking because it's taking that invisible biochemical stress and making it visible. For the very first time, we can actually see and measure the specific toll that chronic stress is taking on the bodies of people with PCOS.
And here it is. This is the proof. This chart shows the markers for chronic stress. Now, take a look at the control group. Their levels are nice and low, just what you'd expect. Okay, now look at the bar for PCOS patients. The difference is it's huge, and it's measurable. This isn't a feeling, people. This is biological data. This is the smoking gun that proves that biochemical siege is absolutely real.
Okay, so we've got the science, we've got the data. But so what? Why does any of this actually matter? What does it mean for you right now?
Here's the most important takeaway from all of this. Your experience is biological. It is real. Stress is not a personal failing. It's a physical trigger that has very real physical consequences. And honestly, just understanding this vicious cycle, that's the first and maybe the most powerful step toward actually managing it. This knowledge, it's validation. It confirms everything you've probably been feeling in your own body for years.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. If we now know that stress is a physical biochemical siege,
How should that change our entire approach to treating PCOS? It kind of suggests that stress management isn't just some nice-to-have add-on for your well-being, right? It should probably be a core essential part of the physiological treatment plan itself. Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.